Okay, thank you, Aisha. All of you sit properly. Page number. Now, all of you take page number 11 in your e-book. 11, 1, 1, 11 in your e-book. Page number 11 in your textbook. Yes. And the 11, 11, 1, 1, 11. WH question, where? What is mean by where? Where? Huh? Where is the box? All of you say that. Where is the box?
So I request the audience to switch off. The participants, please mute your microphones, please. All of you. Somebody's microphone is on actually. I request you to mute the microphone, please. No, sir, I didn't block anything actually. I'll check it, sir, anyway. Can you please now check it? No, sir, from my side, I didn't block anything, sir. Can you please try to rejoin or something? You can try. Okay. From my side, I didn't block anything, sir. കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ?
Hello, sir. Can you hear, sir?
Now, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is audible now. Yeah, you just increase the voice, sir. Little bit.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It is audible, right? Okay,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Fine. Thank you.
Some set. Sorry for the inconvenience. I think it's okay.
Just few minutes, sir, and
Okay,
we'll
sir.
start the program.
Fine, sir.
Some more, some more students to please join now.
Okay, sir.
Yes, also.
Hello, sir. Principal, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, shall we start now? Sir, we are
Yes,
ready
sir.
now.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm ready, sir. No.
Principal, sir. Padmanabhan, sir. Padmanabhan, sir. Padmanabhan, sir.
I'm here, sir. I'm here. Yeah.
Yes, sir. We can start now, sir. We start now.
Only 13, 14 people are there. Like, but at least 20 now.
What,
I'm
sir?
just trying to. I'm trying to connect ANSI mails, sir. Then some more 8 students. Hello, sir. I'm just trying to connect ANSI mails to get more number of 8th semester students to enroll now. Now only
Okay, sir.
13 people are there. 13 people are there. So we another 5 minutes or 2 minutes. Max.
Okay, sir. No problem. Tell me.
So, we can start now, sir.
I think Padmanabhan sir telling we have to wait 5 more minutes. Some other
Okay,
students.
okay. Because here, due to rain, I'm not
Uh,
clear. It is not audible to me. Actually.
yeah,
Due to the heavy rain, is there.
some more student has to join.
Okay, okay, man.
Okay. So we need
Okay, Karthikeyan, we proceed, Karthikeyan.
Tell me, where is the bird?
Hello, sir.
Start now, sir.
Yeah, you please start.
Yes.
Just start formally.
Okay.
See? Where is the bird? Shall I begin?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes, you can start. You can start.
Good evening, everyone. National Innovation Day. Every year it is celebrated on 15th October to commemorate the birth anniversary of our former president, Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, also known as the Missile Man of India, worked for DRDO and ISRO. He directed the project to develop India's first satellite launch vehicle. The nuclear testing under the supervision of Kalam made India nuclear-armed state. He directed the projects for development of ballistic missiles. He developed Kalam Raju stent, which is a cost-effective coronary stent, and developed rubbed Kalam Raju tablet for better healthcare administration in the rural pockets of India. As a part of National Innovation Day, Institutional Innovation Council of Nirmala College of Pharmacy has organized a talk on current state of natural product drug discovery, novel drug discovery innovations. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome all of you to this talk. I request Dr. Karthikeyan M., President of Institutional Innovation Council, Nirmala College of Pharmacy, to welcome the gathering.
Thank you, Ragi. Good evening, one and all. Thank you to each and everyone of being with us here today. The Honorable Chief Guest, Administrator, respected Principal, Vice Principal, teachers, and all my dear colleagues. I would like to welcome Reverend Father Jose Matai Mailadia, Administrator, in his absence here. Welcome, Father. I would like to welcome the Chief Guest of today's program, Mr. Muddu Krishnaiah. Welcome, sir. Now, I would like to extend my welcome to Dr. Padmanabhan, Principal and IIC Chairman, and Dr. Deepa Jose, Vice Principal and Vice President of IIC, Institutional Innovation Council, and all my IIC coordinators and members of IIC. And I would like to welcome all my dear students of those who have participated from the Nirmala College of Pharmacy and the participants from outside the state and the faculties from outside the state. I would like to welcome all the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Padmanabhan R., Principal and Chairman of Institutional Innovation Council, Nirmala College of Pharmacy, for Presidential Address.
Sir, your
Thank you very much, Muthu Krishnaiah, for accepting our invitation. And we are so much fortunate to have you on this webinar, or I can say orientation, such type of orientation to our students.
Yes, sir.
And indeed, it's a tough time for everyone after the college hours to listening such a substantial research aspect. But we found that this could be the ideal time for the resource person as well as the faculty members they can join in a free hand. I wanted to express to the students who are on board right now. I know Muthu Krishnaiah through my friend whose name is Dr. Samuel Davamani, and they have collaborated and they worked many kind of services for testing the research products and all. And Muthu Krishna, no doubt, you just type in any of the Google Scholar or any of the Google search, you can find his research papers. You'll be surprised if you see most of the publications are in the nature and other high impact and journals. So without taking much time, students, I'm just giving the words. You just carefully listen what are the things which is expressing by the research person. And the research is not one-day process; it's a continuous process and continuous learning. Okay, so this kind of interaction will really stimulate your brain and one point of time you can do a wonderful research. So
Sir, your voice.
in line of this, I just conclude my talk, and I wish you all the best for the students. Mr. Krishnaiya, you can start proceeding your session.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, no.
Thank you very much, sir. And
Just a
thank you.
minute, sir.
Okay.
Just a minute. Yeah, Rekha. Rekha. Raki. Raki, please proceed to the next.
Very good. See,
She has to on the mic, sir.
Muted.
I'm sorry.
That is a man.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Dr. Deepa Jose, Vice Principal and Vice President of Institutional Innovation Council, Nirmala College of Pharmacy, to deliver a small message.
Once again, clearly.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes, madam.
Can you hear me?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Good evening, Mandal. As usual, the team IAC under the official leadership of Dr. Karthikeyan has presentation of the National Innovation Day. We are privileged to have opportunities to listen from such various speakers, experience and exposure. I'm sure that the interactive session of the lecture with Mr. Muthukrishnan
The bird
enlighten
is the bird.
natural products. All the students will actively participate and interact with our respected resource person. Let it be a very fruitful one. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It's our distinct honor to introduce our honorable speaker, Mr. K. Mudukrishnaiah, sir. So I would like to call Maria C. George from 6M B Farm to introduce our speaker.
Good evening, everyone. It's my great honor and pleasure to introduce Mr. K. Mudukrishnaiah, sir, who has completed his M.Pharm in biotechnology from Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR University and B.Pharm from University of Pune. He is currently working as a research scholar at ICAR CIBA Chennai. He is currently working on marine anaerobic bacterial diversity for the production of antimicrobial agents. His areas of interest is in the development of antimicrobial agents from marine sources, biotechnology, medical microbiology, pathology, microbial genetics, and mycology. He has received many awards like Senior Research Fellowship from Indian Council of Medical Research. He also has received Indian Science Academy Summer Research Fellowship 2018. Also, he has received Young Talent Award from ICIP MBS International Seminar conducted by the Oriental University, and he also had received the University Gold Medal from Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR Medical University for academic merit in M.Pharm for biotechnology for the year 2011. He also has participated in many national and international conferences, and he has attended various workshops, and also he has 16 publications. Now I invite our speaker, K. Mudukrishnaiah, sir, to deliver the talk. Sir, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to today to give that lecture. So without wasting time, we will go start the seminar. And here one thing I am telling. So please listen carefully. This is a good opportunity to. I'm going to explain how to discover the drug molecules and what was the problems we are facing and what we have to overcome that problems. That is one section. Second section, you are the B.Pharm students. I think you are going to complete your B Pharmacy this year, I think. So next year you are going to go higher studies like a M Pharmacy, and some researchers or somebody is going to do the business, and some students going to do the job in industries and medical sectors and different areas. So today the section I will cover all the areas. So all the areas, what is the how to join the how to enter that areas, how you are going to means what is the eligibilities and what is the barriers. So these all the sections we are going to discuss. So I'm sharing my screen. Is it clear, everyone?
No, sir.
Can you see my screen, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
No, sir.
No. I think, now it is visible, everyone, my screen.
Sir, it's visible.
Yes, thank you. So current status of natural product drug discovery, novel drug discovery innovations. So introduction, development of drugs for treating and managing diseases such as SARS-CoV, current problem, antimicrobial resistance, malaria, hypertension, diabetes, and cancer. These diseases continue to plague diverse population worldwide with a significant associated mortality, lot of deaths and difficulties. So this is the one small kind of representation, the bacterial cell. Inside the bacteria, there is a different kinds of drug resistance happening here. So we have facing a lot of antimicrobial resistance. So the structure, chemical compounds, here the damage of chemical structures and inactivation, enzyme inactivation. There is various mechanisms happening. So natural products and their structural analogs have historically made major contribution to pharmacotherapy, especially for cancer and infectious disease. So nowadays there is no discussion about the infectious disease. Everyone has known very well. Natural products also present challenges for drug discovery, such as technical barrier. There is a lot of challenges in the drug discovery from the natural products. So in that, technical barrier to the screening and isolation, characterization and optimization. Microorganisms and plants are found very habitat environment with the most found on lands. The faced with many stress and challenges coupled with being sedentary, and plants have developed many molecules to ward off attacks from animals and environment. Here we have to understand microorganisms present everywhere. We can call it as a omnipotent, like God. So microorganisms present in that marine and cold water, that is psychrophiles and barophiles and mesophiles and different places it will living. So we can call it as suppose if you want to study the human inside the microorganism, we can call it as a human microbiome. So group of study. And plants also, plants also growing different conditions like rainy conditions, and some are like desert conditions. So while growing itself, it will develop its mechanism, protective mechanism. In that protective mechanism, that situation, the plants or microorganisms will be developed that some kind of chemicals, and that also develop the resistance. So resistance, how it will be, there is a secondary chemicals will be developed, then it will called as the resistance. So these microbial compounds or plant compounds, these are the secondary compounds, the secondary metabolites. There is a two kinds of metabolites. One is the primary metabolites, second one is the secondary metabolites. Primary metabolites like sugar molecules. So these primary metabolites, it will synthesize plant and it will utilize for itself growth. But secondary metabolites, it will synthesize and it will use for protecting and various purpose like protecting like a chemical, toxic chemicals. Even though animals also, snakes, these proteins and all, it's very dangerous. These are the it will utilize for only protecting purpose. The same molecules give plants their ability to give off fragrances, colors, and antioxidants. Some plants will produce the secondary metabolites for fragrances. Some plants will produce the toxicity, the various mechanism. Many historical findings are there proven that all these secondary metabolites are medicinal purpose. The discovery of medicinal plants by early humans must have been a trial and error method. Previously, the discovery of drugs as per the necessity, as per the requirement, like a disease. Suppose anybody having the wound or swelling, the previous even though we can see in the villages, the grandmothers and grandfathers, they will take one leaf and they will crush and they will apply. They don't know what chemical is present in that, but still they have some hope. That is the trial and error method. So with that method, previously the humans are discovered that medicines for to treat infectious disease and various kind of non-infectious diseases. Drugs approved for agencies like FDA and EMA or even Indian drug controller. They are approved drugs from microbial and plant sources. The natural drugs, most of the drugs from natural sources. The very less drugs from the synthetic. Paclitaxel and morphine have been isolated from the plant. This is taken one of the example, well-known example. The drug discovery of penicillin from the fungus lead to the screening of many microorganisms for the potential antibiotics. So this is the starting for identification of antibiotics are most of the drugs. Those drugs derived from the microorganisms. So this is the starting that Alexander Fleming discovered that penicillin from penicillin antibiotic from the penicillin. This is the starting to screen. After that, the most of the scientists are interested to discover the lot of drug from the microorganisms like soil source, actinomycetes and fungal sources, and bacterial source from marine and water, fresh water, different sources. Individually, some of these ingredients do not have therapeutic activities, but they require their synergistic activities. So I can say one of the examples, some of the single drugs cannot show the directly activity. With the help of other drugs, it will show that more activity compared to the normal activity. The chloroquine with artemisinin based combination therapies has been totally used for the malarial treatment. In the recent years, several technological and scientific developments, including improved analytical tools, genome mining, and engineering strategies, and microbial culture advances are addressing such challenges and opening new opportunities. So with the help of novel innovation technologies, we can overcome those problems like discovery of difficulties in the drug discovery. Consequently, interest in natural products as drug leads being revitalized, particularly for tackling microbial resistance and other non-communicable diseases. Now, the entire world suffering due to the drug resistance because of SARS-CoV and escape bugs. We can call it as the escape bugs or nosocomial infections or bacterial infections, different. So for that, with the help of novel technologies, we can discover new antimicrobial compounds. Natural bioactive molecules offer the special features in the comparison with the conventional synthetic molecules, which confer both advantages and challenges for the drug discovery. So challenges. What are the challenges? Lack of standardization procedures. So everyone, most of the researchers, they are struggling, but we don't have standard procedures. Some of the to discover some of the drugs. That is the main thing. We have to standardize proper procedure while discovering the drug. Lack of isolation of pure chemical procedures and compounds. So there is this means another one, the extraction isolation process. There is no proper isolation methods. That means those are the researchers. They are doing the researchers. They are not mentioned proper procedures in the articles and all. So many scholars also they are getting the difficulties when they refer their articles. So that means the lack of isolation of pure compounds and their like procedures. Lack of elucidation of biological mechanism. So once identify the drug, we should know what type of mechanism it will, with the help of what type of mechanism this drug will be act on the like a treatment, act on the like a antimicrobial treatment purpose or non-communicable different. We have to study the mechanism while discovering. We have to find that mechanism, what mechanism like inhibition or statistic or that killing, the what type of mechanism. The documented clinical trials according to the standards. So whenever we are doing that clinical trials, we have to maintain the proper documentation for further use. So the documentation is most important for verifying, recross checking, and standardizing all the type of drugs. Natural products in drug discovery. A chemical compound or substance produced by the living organism in the nature that has pharmacological, bioactivity, and it is used in the drug discovery process. It can called as the secondary metabolites. So innovative technologies for the natural product drug discovery. So natural products, what are the natural products isolated from the mostly from the plant and microorganisms? Sorry, there is some innovative techniques. The innovation extractions, molecular distillation, supercritical fluid extraction, membrane separation technology, ultra assisted enzyme assisted extractions. This one kind of extractions for those are the compounds isolated from the bacteria or plants different. We have to use the innovative techniques like solvent based liquid. Suppose some polar compounds, particular compounds will only dissolve in the some particular solvents. With that different technique, we have to develop new techniques, and the technique should be standardized. That standardized technique has to maintain the record. That is the most important. Next, second one is the innovative. That innovative means there is advanced tools, and like it's not field work and lab. It is only for systematic like bioinformatics and computer aided drug designing. These using these different softwares and different methods, we can discover the novel drugs. So we will discuss in detail in that. The omics technologies like genomics, proteomics, metabolomics. These omic technologies is these techniques are 20th generation or 21st generation technologies. With the help of these technologies, we can find out lot of drugs, and we can there is a lot of advantages for this. One by one we will discuss. So innovation extraction and identification. So in that first innovation techniques, that innovation extraction, one method I can explain. The liquid extraction is the important unit operation with the broad spectrum of applications in the chemical and biological pharmaceutical industries. We can think only we normally pharmacist or chemist, what they will think, okay, liquid extraction, it is a simple process, but it is not a simple process. We have to keep in mind that liquid extraction is the most important technique for the separation of the lot of important drugs based upon the solvent system and polarity basis. So different solubility of the compounds between the two miscible liquids is the basic principle of this unit. It consists of two steps, dispersing and phase separation. So what are the drugs? Suppose like extraction, simple maturation, there is the different types of succinate extraction, whatever maybe we are doing, that these all come in this category, but we have to that selectivity, solvent selectivity is the most important. The mechanism is dispersing and phase separation. Dispersing means the drug molecule slowly diffuse into that solvent system. Phase separation is two molecules, two different liquid solvents will separated. The drugs also diffusion. Suppose polar liquid will polar compounds will dissolve in the polar solution, and non-polar compounds will dissolve in the non-polar solution like solvent. Firstly, a large surface area for the mass transfer must be provided, and secondly, phases must be separated due to density differences. Suppose the very less density solvents, that solvent we have to separated with the help of density bases. Besides batch vessels, extraction is performed conventionally in different types of columns, mixers, shelter units. Disadvantages of these conventional equipments are their large dimensions and difficult washing, their contaminations, and even though chemicals we suppose we need to identify lots of 1 gram of chemical compound from one plant, means how much plant we have to harvested, how much solvent, how much time consuming, and heating, that everything we have to calculate it. The high volumetric consumption. So these are the difficulties. Next one is structural elucidation. So most of the scholars or researchers, they will identify these extract having the antimicrobial activity or anti-cancer activity or antibiotic activity, but they need to identify what chemical there is in that extract. There is a lot of chemicals. It's not a one chemical. In that case, if you are showing the extract is showing the activity, in that time you can say there is poly compounds. The number of compounds is showing the activity against this particular infection or particular bacteria or particular non-infection diseases. In that case, which compound is showing that particular activity? So that case you have to go for separation and identification, that structural identification. The structural elucidation of this bioactive constituent depends upon almost exclusively on the application of modern instrumental methods, particularly high field NMR, mass, and XRD structure determination. The powerful techniques usually adequate to solve these structures of most secondary metabolites up to 20 kilodalton molecular weight. So here NMR and mass is the most important techniques. This will be applicable for synthetic compounds or plant derived compounds, even the proteins. Proteins we are separated with the help of gel electrophoresis, SDS, sodium dodecyl sulfate electrophoresis. Electrophoresis is one of the most technique to separate the lot of different kinds of proteins. X-ray crystallography is also valuable tools if crystallization of the material can be induced. So crystallization, we can identify the purified crystals. The suppose separated compound is the pure compound or not. With the help of X-ray crystallography, we can identify it. Then equation is the n lambda is equal to the scientist Braxman is previously discussed. Even though B-Pharmacy students, they can study in that physical pharmacy to identify the layers, tablet layer, that damages of the tablets, or any layers that we can use that equation. With that equation, the layer of that crystal layer, the shape and layer, is the it will clear or not, is there any like contamination, or there is any another compounds, we can identify with the help of X-ray crystallography. So second one is bioinformatics and computer aided drug designing. So the drug development process in that is the first method to novel techniques we can so for the here there is the first techniques, that innovative techniques. There is a lot of techniques for to develop these types of technique. You have to know you have to need a lot of knowledge, and we have to go through you have to follow the proper way. It won't come single day or 1 year or 2 years. You have to understand from step by step till you receive then only you can develop the new techniques. So here new techniques means, suppose normally we use that gram staining crystal violet. Why don't you use the different colors? You have to think it logically. Why only crystal violet will going to bind to that bacterial cell? Other stainings also will bind. That crystal violet will be peptidoglycan. It is going to bind peptidoglycan. It is the N-acetyl glucosamine and N-acetyl muramic acid. Other compounds, it won't dissolve in the alcohol solvent. So with that, why don't you use other staining like that? Innovatively, once you think innovatively or different way, then you can develop different novel technique. You can apply your tools in that real life, like a research field. Then it will become that discovery or findings or research findings. So second one is bioinformatics and computer aided drug designs. The drug development process is time consuming and costly, stressful. So first method, the separation and identification, structural elucidation, purification, these and all very large process, and we have to spend lot of money, lot of time, and finally it will be we can get the fruits or not. It's not guaranteed. So that there is some advanced techniques like bioinformatics, computer aided drug designing. Even though bioinformatics, computer aided drug designing, we can't give the 100% guarantee, but still we can reach up to 80 or 90%. The drug development process in time consuming and costly and stressful. The classic drug discovery process being with the identification of the target and the most promising drug molecule, which is the optimized in vitro, in vivo, and in preclinical investigation to determine whether the chemical has potential to develop as a therapeutic molecule. Once you find a novel drug, that will be, after finding, it has to be studied in vitro, in vivo, preclinical. The preclinical and the clinical, and this is also, it will very huge investigation. So that's why, so now advanced techniques they are using to simply identifying the secondary metabolites. So we will discuss in that bioinformatics, computer aided. The procedure of the drug discovery, development of commercialization are difficulties. So to address some of these issues, there are variety of computational tools for new drug discovery that are both cost effective and time consuming. In silico techniques can be reduced the number of candidate compounds examined for the drug discovery from the hundreds of thousands to tens of thousands, resulting in time, money, human resource savings. So with the help of these techniques, we can save time and number of money spending and everything we can save, but there is some certain limitations. So suppose if you are identified a single drug, there is a lots of analogs and derivatives. So you have to identify that derivatives may be having the activity. If suppose you are identify inert drug, like we can take one of the example, paracetamol, aspirin, acetyl salicylic acid. It is a prodrug. So then it will converted into the active drug inside the metabolic pathway. So that metabolic studies, we have to find that cytochrome 450 enzyme that will convert it into the acetyl salicylic acid to salicylic acid. That will study in silico with the help of bioinformatic tools. So we can find out, okay, this drug will be converted, so inactive drug to active drugs. So that will be, in that case, we have saved timing and different time money expenditure, that everything. So that is the secondary bioinformatics competition. That is bioinformatics and computational studies. This is the huge subject. So it will discuss means it will can discuss more than 5 or 6 days. The next one we can go for genomics, natural products identification, and biomarkers identification. So next method is, I told the third method is genomics. So omics method, that is first one is genomics, proteomics, and metabolomics. So what is this? These techniques are developed this 20th century. It's already presented, but still more famous in 20th century. Genomic techniques such as the DNA barcoding, established techniques that are rarely sequence diversity in short standard DNA regions for the species level identification. Suppose if you find one plant, you have to identify, means you have to take that plant and go to the lab, and you have to see that previous history, like so this type, this Malvaceae, Solanaceae, and different families, their rules and regulations, everything you have to do. That will be takes minimum 1 year. In that case, what you will, once identification, then you have to go for like characterization, like isolation, this and all. So in that case, what you will do, there is a best technique with the help of genomics. You just isolate the DNA, you target one place, like DNA, plant DNA, like RCBL, ribosomal mitochondrial ribosomal DNA. That is particular DNA has do sequencing in the plants. You target that particular DNA, you synthesize the DNA, you identify that sequences like adenine, guanine, thymine, like that sequences, like 400 to 800 base pairs. With the help of that base pairs, you can identify this plant is known plant or already unknown plant. So that once identify the DNA, you have to match with the library, DNA library. So you can identify this already, find it will match to the already presented DNA. So that time you can identify this plant already identified. So you can tell your whatever the plant you collected is belongs to this category. So DNA barcoding of natural products has been applied in biodiversity inventories and authentication of herbal products. So DNA barcoding system nowadays, recently we are doing everywhere, we are doing the compared to authentication, best method to go for DNA identification. DNA barcoding was used in an integrative approach for identification of the plant species. Whole genome sequence combined with the transcriptome analysis has allowed to the exploration of drug and compound target in never before. So this DNA sequence not only for plant identification, we can identify it for what are the secondary metabolites, what are the genes important for enzyme synthesis. Like suppose I can tell one example, amylase, Bacillus synthesize the amylase. So that enzyme is coded by that coded by one sequence, bacterial DNA sequence like adenine, guanine, thymine. So once you do that Bacillus whole genome sequence, with the help of bioinformatic tools, you can identify this Bacillus will synthesize Bacillus having amylase synthesizing gene. So you directly confirm that, okay, this Bacillus is, we have to take it and go for the further industrial production of amylase, whatever maybe. With the help, that is possible only with the help of genomics. The transcriptome factor, binding sites, protein modification, alteration of the DNA structure, as well as methylation patterns can now be analyzed and measured at the genomic level. So not only for this, you can go for, suppose you identify a whole genome, you can know there itself you can find DNA to like a DNA to translation, DNA to protein conversion. Okay, so once you identify the DNA, so you can convert that DNA to coding region protein sequences. From that protein sequences, again you go for cloning. So whatever the clones, the cloning, the bacteria will produce the whatever the secondary metabolites, beneficial secondary metabolites. So this is one kind of example I'm showing here. Recently we find one of the bacteria, that Actinoatlanticus. This is AURM4. Find the producing pigment, antimicrobial producing pigment. These bacteria identified from the marine source. So I'm getting the difficulties how to identify with the conventional method like phenotypic. So in that case, what I did a DNA sequencing, and I go through that NCBI sequence library. I match with that. So this is AURM4 is my bacteria. So I match with that presented sequences. So I can confirm my species is Actinoalan. This is matched with that. This is matched with that AURM, that Actinoatlanticus. In that I can confirm my bacteria is Actinoatlanticus cyanograceus. So from there is no confusion. Clear cutly we can identify. If you want to go for metabol, like what type of enzymes or genes is responsible for staining like a black pigment. So that is the depth in-depth studies. That is innovative studies. You have to step by step you have to follow. So this is the example I can give. So this is one kind of DNA sequences from the bacteria. So these regions, suppose first red color AAG TTCC, these regions is responsible for producing any antibiotics. So you can take this region, and if you cloned or otherwise, you can just translate it. There is a lot of bioinformatic tools are available. You just translate to DNA to that protein. So you can get this structure, protein structure. You can test with this protein. You can find this protein structure. This protein structure having the activity or not. You can go for bioinformatic like docking studies and different bioinformatic studies. With that, you can confirm your without culturing, without culture, and without isolating bacteria. Is simply you can, with the help of DNA, you can identify secondary metabolites, that is active secondary metabolites. So this is one kind of then genomics. Then what is proteomics? Proteomics in nature product validation. Proteomics approaches to improve, approaches to innovative drug discovery from natural products have the potential to elucidate the protein expression, protein function, metabolic and biosynthetic pathways based upon the therapeutic effect, translation to consistency in the quality and profile of the product. So proteomics is most important nowadays. All the proteins, peptides is fragments of protein. So once the proteins are fragmented, it will become the peptides. Nowadays, peptides are most important to treat the antimicrobial. Peptides are act as the antimicrobial agents. So it will use for the treatment of a lot of bacterial infection. So approaches such as the mass spectrometry utilizing isotope tags and two-dimensional electrophoresis will give the insight into quantitative protein profiling, which is generate the quantitative data on the scale and sensitivity comparable to that generated at the genomic level. So once your protein or your peptide is showing the active, so how you are identified? So you have to do the molecular identification like LCMS. So this is mass spectrometry is nothing but LCMS. So we have MALDI. I think most of that analysis students, they might be read in that MALDI. MALDI means like protein MALDI matrix laser assisted mass spectroscopy. So this will use all the sensitive proteins. We can't go for directly for normal LCMS. So it is very unstable. We have to make that stable with different conditions. If once get protein denatured, there is no use of that protein. So that will be for that purpose. There is a different selective methods to determine the proteomics, like protein mass spectroscopy, like different. So we can use it for that. Next one, genome mining and engineering. What is mining? So mining nothing but normal. We will discuss generally mining. What we will do, the poles and all digging from that soil and the land. So here also there is a genome mining. We are searching from the genomics. Like suppose I can take one of the example. We without culturing that bacteria, we have to identify that secondary metabolite producing or not. So how that mining, searching and getting identify the some secondary metabolites. Genome mining is based upon the searches for the genes that are likely to govern biosynthesis of scaffold structures and can be used to identify the natural product biosynthesis gene clusters. The prioritization of the gene clusters for further work, it is facilitated by the advance in the biosynthetic knowledges and the predictive bioinformatic tools, which can provide hints about the whether the metabolic products of the clusters have chemical scaffold that are new or known, whereby supporting dereplication. So with the help of genome mining, this will be very helpful. Why means, suppose you are extracting one of the compound from the known bacteria, you every time is extracting same chemical compound from the known bacteria, that will be difficult. Then when you can find out the novel antimicrobial agents, in that case you can, with the help of genome mining, with the help of genomics, you can find this bacteria can produce any novel secondary different novel compounds or not. So such predictive tools for the gene clusters analysis can be applied in the combination with the spectroscopic techniques to accelerate the identification of natural products and determine the stereochemistry of metabolic products. And another one, that MGRAST, one of the tool, we can identify that functional genes, metabolic pathways. Suppose if you are taken one of the drug molecule, how it is metabolite and what type of activity it will shows. All the metadata that some of the functional genes, what type of genes your genes involved for metabolize that drug, that everything we can studied with the help of some bioinformatic tools. That is the tools we can use the genome minings. Furthermore, to extend genome mining from a single genome to entire genera, microbiomes or strain collections, computational tools have been developed. Such big scale which enable sequence similarity analysis, biosynthetic genes clusters, and correlations which use the phylogenomic approaches elucidate evolutionary relationship between the gene cluster. So see, this is B. I think B.Pharmacy level. I don't know how much they are understanding the biotechnology. They have a lot of this type of terminologies. If we don't know this type of terminologies, it will useful in the future. Even the B.Pharmacy, there is only one subject is a biotechnology and another one is a microbiology. So in that you can find is sequencing, DNA, this and all. If you learn the terminologies very well, it is easy to understand like this type of innovative techniques. If you learn this type of innovative techniques, then you can identify innovative molecules. Unless if you don't know the proper knowledge, it's very difficult to find the innovative molecules and the innovative techniques. Not only for the microbiology, this any subject, you should follow the thorough knowledge about that step by step. If you want to jump from one place to another place, one technique to other technique, it is very difficult. So these genomic techniques not only used for the drug discovery, these also used for the disease detection and disease status identification and cancer treatment. Like there is a different that is the one kind of application. Apart from this, these genomic techniques, and we can also use it for the forensic laboratories. So we can discuss about later that what are the jobs available after B.Pharm or M.Pharm. In that time I can discuss in detail. So these are the advanced tools, innovative tools, and we can use for the developing innovative molecules. So this is one kind of graphical abstract what we did recently, marine microorganism. We didn't just collect the sample and identify the DNAs and just simply find the different types of functional genes. So if I know this is one type of functional gene, so I can identify this bacteria. This is suppose actinomycin having this functional gene. So I can go for I take this gene, I clone in E. coli or a different prokaryote Saccharomyces. With the help of that clone, I can get the product. This is one type of basic, but it need lot of skills. So these are the functional genes. I am talking about the previously I told that functional genes. What is the functional genes? The genes responsible for the producing secondary metabolites. These are the functional genes. So this is one type of marine sample, bacterial sample. There is a lot of genes responsible for enzyme lysis and secondary metabolic production, sulfur degradation, plastic degradation. These all the genes are responsible for various applications, even the vitamin production. There is a lot of application we can find the genes. So now second part we will discuss once. So that is the innovative techniques and innovative methods to discover the novel innovative compounds. So next second session, the pharmaceutical once you are going to complete the B Farm. So now it's you are in the final year. So what you will do? What is your aim? So there is a lot of your parents have a lot of scope. My son or daughter has completed is going to completed B Farms, so he's going to do job or he's going to go for higher education or like job means pharmaceutical industries like production, QA, QC, management, packing, sales, different, and higher education like masters and R&D, research and developments, or somebody will enter in the clinical pharmacies like healthcare organizations, and some people those have money like investment, those having the enough money to investment, they have their small businesses like small scale productions like raw material production and medical agencies, certain medical stores, etc. So now we will discuss about the higher educations. So higher education and R&D. So once you completed B Farm, you can do Master of Pharmacy, Master of Science Pharmacy, MTech Pharmacy, Integrated PhD. So must M-Pharmacy know everyone, every student has know very well. After B-Pharmacy, they want to do the Master of Pharmacy. They know very well. So in that Master of Pharmacy, they know different subjects like pharmacology, zootics, formulation, analysis, and biotechnology, and pharmacognosy and chemistry, different pharmacology like. Then apart from that, we have some new courses also. MS, Master of Science. This most some of the in India very less universities they are conducting Master of Science Pharmacy master programs, and abroad most of famous universities they are conducting Master of Science. So then MTech Pharmacy. MTech Pharmacy has the industrial oriented pharmacy like antibiotic production and different vaccine development programs. There is a lot of scope is there MTech Pharmacy. I can say one of the example like Serum Institute Pune. Now where from we getting the vaccine? Serum Institute, they will prefer mostly for MTech biotechnology or MTech pharmacy, MTech virology, MTech microbiology students. And apart from that, we are eligible to do integrated PhDs, various national research centers. I will discuss in that. We can do that integrated PhD after completion of B Farms. After completion of 4 years course, that is the B Farm, we can do directly PhD, that is for 5 years. So what is the eligibilities? You completed B Farm, you want to do these 4 courses or other courses. What do you need? So in India, again, you are spend a lot of money to study that B Farm and course fees and this, and so at least masters you want to get, you want to study your master course in a good research center, various research centers in India. In that case, you have to pass some national wide entrance exams. Like everyone knows very well GPAT. Pharmacy students know very well only GPAT, graduate pharmacy aptitude test. That, and it will eligible only for getting admissions at NIPER and various universities in state level or central universities. Apart from that, we should know B Pharmacy student. You should not only struck with the GPAT. You have to know GATE also. We are eligible to write the GATE exam, Graduate Aptitude Technical Engineering Test, and it will be eligible. You can also enter the IITs. You can also enter the ISRs, All India Institute, All India Institute of Science Research Center. This is started with 2019. Every state one ISR research centers is there. It is equal to IITs and the National Institute of Technology. This is also central government funded institute. Once you can enter that centers, you have good feature. Next is CSIR NET. This is conducted by the Council of Scientific Industrial Research. NET exam, you are also eligible to write NET exam. Actually, BSc students are not eligible to write that CSIR NET. Only 4 years course they can eligible to write. Even though B Pharmacy students are allowed to write the NET exam. In that NET, 2 categories is there. One is lectureship and another one is JRF, research JRF. So you are all the those are qualified CSIR NET exam. All the institutions are they will take you as the JRF. UGC NET, University Grant Commission National Eligibility Test. It will also eligible for all that to take admission in all the universities and institutions. TIFR, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. This is the most difficult exam in India. Second most is CSR Net. This Tata Institute of Fundamental Research is Tata Industries, Tata Education Trust. They are conducting every year, maybe November or December. So it's very technical. It will be collaborated with the foreign universities like Cambridge, that and all. And in India, Tata institutes like NCBS in Bangalore, and another one is Mumbai. There is different places they are having. It's very these institute have lot of facilities, lot of funding, lot of resources. Whatever you want to learn, that you can learn without any without any barrier. The next one is ICAR. ICAR means Indian Council of Agriculture Research. NET exam. They are also conducting a NET exam, national eligibility test. So you can enter. Even though pharmacy, why everyone is thinking why this sir is discussing about the ICAR. I am a pharmacist. Why don't I want to know that Indian Council of Agriculture Research? The pharmacist can enter that Indian Council of some of the animal research center like National Animal Husbandry that presented in Hyderabad. Their pharmacists also eligible to do the research in the research centers. Now currently I am working on ICAR Research Center, the funded by the ICMR. So DBT, Department of Biotechnology. If every year the Department of Biotechnology of India, they are also conducting admissions for MTech and PhD also. ICMR is only for that those candidate want to do the JRF and SRF research. So that is eligible for ICMR. So even BPharmacy candidate can eligible to write the ICMR. So national institutes. So once you qualified that exams, so where you want to join? So National Institute Education, like suppose you qualified the GPAT, the NIPER Mohali, all the NIPER institutes, you can join either MPharm or MS. So Department of Biotechnology in India, well established departmental centers are available entire India, like different states. National Institute of Immunology, one of the most famous and the greatest center in India. It is present at New Delhi. All the immunological studies, and even Kerala also we have Department of Biotechnology Center, Rajiv Gandhi Center for Biotechnology, Thiruvananthapuram. So well developed and well equipped, all the facilities having this center. So those are qualified that exams, they can join here MTech or JRF, SRF, or they can do whatever they need. And another one is CSR, Council of Scientific Industrial Research. So this is one kind of this is type of organization Indian Indian government is established. So they have that different state-wise they established the laboratories, research centers. So there is a like a Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, Hyderabad, and NIV, National Institute of Virology, Pune, Central Drug Research Institute, Lucknow. I think CDRI know very well everyone. So in India, there most drug research studies are conducted at CDRI. Central Food, and another one is there National Chemical Laboratory, Pune, and another one Chemical Research Center at Mumbai. These three centers in India, most of the drug research studies are going on. The Central Food Technology and Research Institute, CFTRI, Mysore. There is a lot of different research centers available. Those candidates, those are interested and they want to develop innovative techniques or innovative molecules or innovative methods, they can join here. They will get all the facilities. Then only we can develop. Without joining, without knowing knowledge, without getting facilities, without spending money, we can't develop innovative techniques and innovative molecules. Keep in mind that one. So these are the list of, there is around 20 or 30 CSR National Research Centers is there. It's well established, well facilitated research centers. You can enter only when you pass that national wide entrance exam. Without that, unless you have all the good like publications, research exposure, then if you have that also you can enter in this. So ICAR institutions. So ICAR, there is a lot of around 16 to 20 ICAR Indian Council of Agriculture Research institutions are available. So you can join if you have that good skills and do that bioinformatics and genomics. You can enter any field if you have what to handle that novel softwares and novel techniques. Next, once BPharm, then what? After master, what you want to do? After master, Another choice, you want to enter the industries like pharmaceutical industries and incubation center. This is incubation center is new for everyone. So that is incubation center is provided by Indian government. If you are well knowledge independent researcher, the Indian government can assist you or can provide some financial assistance and place you can start your own research center at universities or research centers. So that is incubation. Suppose one university is there like Anna University. If you are well developed knowledge person or scientist or skillful person, with the help of your knowledge you can start one research center there, that is called incubation center. So for instrumentation and financial support supported by the Indian government. So that is the options, the research findings of agencies. So once you want to do the research after master, you have to qualify the exams. You want to do the research, then you have to go for the funding agencies. You have to write the proposal research. You have to write innovative technologies. The whatever the research you are going to do, that should be beneficial to the society, and it should be either by commercial, either by the social importance. In that case, these governing bodies like funding bodies, they can provide the money for you to do the research and for your fellowship also. AICT, All India Council for Technical Education, and CSIR, UGC, ICAR, DBT, ICMR. These are the major bodies. The India can provide that funding funding support for the doing research. Apart from this, there is a Ministry of Earth Research, Ministry of Earth Science. That is those are doing the geological studies. They can get the funding from the MOES. Research positions. So how you want to do? You want to know that what is the positions. So if you are join the registration, what is the step by step you are increase your positions. So initially you join that if you are qualified that national wide entrance exam, or you have good publications, or you have, then they can take you as the JRF and SRF, then RA, research assistant, scientist, senior scientist, principal scientist. Apart from this, there is a lot of scientist A, B, C, D grades. That is very challenging positions. So with that, I am telling the B Pharmacy students, don't stick only for that pharmacy. Pharmacy is, everything is pharmacy. Related to the medical, everything is pharmacy. If you think you want to enter all the fields, you are eligible. But in your pharmacy field, MSc candidate, BSc candidates, they can't enter. That is that power of pharmacy. I'm proud to become a pharmacist. I am also one of the pharmacists. With it, I am concluding that. Do you have any doubts regarding this seminar? You can ask. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just a minute. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Jackie?
Yes, sir.
Jackie, proceed.
Thank you for your valuable words, sir. So our session has come to an end, and now it's time for vote of thanks. On behalf of Nirmala College of Pharmacy, I would like to thank our speaker, Mr. K. Muthu Krishnaiah, sir, who has delivered a wonderful talk on Innovation Day. Thank you, sir. It's my great pleasure to thank Reverend Father Jose Matai Mailadir, Administrator of Nirmala College of Pharmacy, for his support and encouragement. Thank you, Father. I would like to thank Dr. Padmanabhan R., Principal and Chairman of Institutional Innovation Council, Nirmala College of Pharmacy, for his words of wisdom. Thank you, sir. Heartfelt thanks to Dr. Deepa Jose, Vice Principal and Vice President of Institutional Innovation Council, Nirmala College of Pharmacy, for her inspiring words. Thank you, ma'am. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Karthikeyan M., President of Institutional Innovation Council, for conducting this event for us. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to thank all Institutional Innovation Council members, teachers, and faculty members for their involvement. Thank you all. Last but not least, I thank all the students for their participation and making the event a success. Once again, I thank one and all present here. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay,
Krishna sir, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
I'll
you.
call you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay.
Now I request all the participants, you can leave the meeting. Thank you. NC